I want to answer some questions I received. In this follow-up video, we will see if the Sony 20mm f1.8 lens works with the Crane M2 and the A7C, and I will show how to set up the wireless connection. Here is the Sony 20mm f1.8. I always pre-balance it on the quick release plate if I know I'm going to use it later outside. Then when I need it, I just unlock, slide the roll axis to the pre-balance point, slide the camera in, and lock it. Then everything should already be balanced and ready to go. Make sure you unlock the pan axis before you turn the gimbal on. Otherwise, bad things will happen. And it works. Keep in mind this lens and the A7C has a combined weight of almost 900 grams, which is actually higher than M2's maximal payload of 720 grams. Since I usually take videos on my taller, this is how I usually hold the gimbal. You can balance it with a flip screen out, but I personally don't use a screen since I'm keeping an eye on the kid. Here is the POV mode. I love the ability to tilt the camera and it just stays there. Great when I need to quickly put the camera down to film ourselves. The gimbal makes sure the horizon is right and I can freely adjust the vertical angle. Let's power down the camera and pack it up. Lock the pan axis. Unlock and release your camera. Slide the roll axis back in. Put it in the lock position. Push it down and the pin pops up to lock everything in place. Then it's ready to go. I want to show how tiny it is when carried on a small backpack. It's certainly more portable than the Weibo or Ronins, which are definitely better and more expensive gimbals. But the M2 is easy to set up and carry. This makes me actually want to bring it out and use it. Now let's set up the wireless connection so we can record with the M2 button. You will need the official ZY Play app. Find the Crane M2 and press connect. Choose camera. You can now use the app to control the camera. Now let's connect the camera. Press the Wi-Fi button. In my case, my M2 already automatically connects to my A7C. I'm going to disconnect now to show you what you see when you first set it up. You should see a list of Wi-Fi hotspots. Now go to your camera menu, go to Network, Control with Smartphone, then Connection. I'm going to scan the QR code using the app. And it's already connecting. You see the Bluetooth icon on the M2 showing connection to the app. Now you also see the link icon showing it's connected to the camera. So do I recommend the Crane M2? Yes and no. If you're a professional doing paid works, you'd probably need a better gimbal with more features and stronger motors to make more cinematic shots. But then you probably won't be watching my video. For average Joes like me, who just need something easy to carry and quick to set up without hassle, no cable, and just one button to tell the camera to record, this is perfect. Even though the 20mm f1.8 technically works, I don't use it personally on the M2 because in the end, it's a heavy lens above max payload, and my arms get tired after a while. The size also makes some movement awkward. Instead, I would prefer the new compact prime 24mm f2.8 from Sony on the M2 if I get to do it all over again. Some people ask me if catalyst gyro stabilization works with IBIS. In my experience, it does work, except not in 120 frames per second. But in slow-mo, you don't really need gyro stabilization anyway. I never turn IBIS off because I just don't have time to fiddle with the settings for each shot. I did notice face and eye autofocus does not work in 4K when the A7C is connected to the M2. But as you can see here, the autofocus is still pretty decent without IAF.